Recording is on.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sons and Daughters of Liberty. Hope everybody's enjoying their day. Give me 1 second while I fix a couple things. All right, we're live. I'm not sure where all this background noise is coming from. I'll turn that off. Maybe that'll help. But yeah, I actually stumbled across this. The Cernovich was talking about it the other night about setting his Twitter account to private, so he could get more views and reach more people. Now it seems to be the trend among some of our favorite Twitter accounts, people that we listen to. You know, it truly is the blind following the blind, though. I'm going to keep it real. I mean, this ain't progressing forward at all. This is taking like multiple steps backwards and basically giving in to cancel culture. And in some cases, it might just be showing people for who they really are and their egos. Keep it all the way real. Because in the end, who's this hurt? This hurts everyone. The nice thing about Twitter, not everybody follows the people that I follow, but sometimes some of these people have some great messages that I'm able to share to people that don't follow them, that might need to hear that message. That might be a life changing message. But now, because I don't know if it's greed, ego, what, or it's just the blind following the blind, because Cernovich said, oh, this will help your analytics. You set your accounts to private. What a joke. Because now the only people you're hurting is those that share your videos to people that really need to hear your message. And I've heard some great messages today that I was not able to share. This is literally taking multiple steps backwards. This is caving in and giving in to the people that are trying to silence you. And you know what? You just did the job for them. I find this one of the most appalling trends out there to date. It doesn't help our communities. It doesn't help our growth. If you're solely only care about analytics, your numbers, then you are truly a brainwashed laboratory rat. And don't care about what you claim to be talking about. We've gotten so far away from quality over quantity. Now it's all about quantity. We got to have these numbers. We got to have these analytics showing count. You know what? I take pride in being a small channel, keeping it that way. Yes, I'm small on certain platforms, but I'm big because I have a different audience on each of these platforms where I share these videos. So I have numbers. But what do I get? I get to interact with my chat when I have people in the chat rooms. It's not going by a mile a minute. We get good conversation. These are the things you lose. And I've noticed this. I've kept my Twitter account small. It's just recently grown to where it's kind of ridiculous because now I get so many feeds. And this is the problem, guys. This is why your feeds are so screwed up because you got so many followers that you're missing the content from the people that you used to get. Clean out your followers. Bring your numbers back down. You know, I'm not going to follow you just because you followed me. I'm going to go look at your profile. What kind of content you put in. Do I feel the need to have your stuff in my feed? Do I see something that interests me that will interest the people that follow me? If not, I'm not going to follow you back unless I feel drawn to. Because it's not about the numbers. It's about quality. It's about the quality of content that we allow to come into our feeds, the messages that are coming in that allow us to share to the people that follow us that don't necessarily follow the same people. So now, all in the end, all the people you're hurting are yourselves and your message. The stupidest trend ever. I bitched about when I heard Tim Pool say, well, when they unroll the blue check marks or blue marks for Twitter, I'm only going to answer and follow people that have the blue check marks. That's not your audience. Your main hardcore audience are the ones who don't. You're no better than the cancel culture when you start doing things like that. You might as well just go hide all your content behind a paywall because that's what you're essentially saying. I want the money. My message means nothing. But yet, once more, the blind following the blind. And the sad part is, it's some people I think put out some great content that have good messages that have done this. Ashley St. Clair puts out some good content from time to time. But hey, can't share it. I'm not even going to bother liking it. What's the point? I mean, I guess I could take a screenshot and copy and paste it. But why should I do more work for somebody who don't care about their message, that only cares about their analytics? The fact is, time after time, we went down this road. We've proven the analytics are wrong, that don't reflect. My view count here on YouTube does not reflect the views I get on the Minds, the views I get on Twitter, the views I get on my WordPress site, on Rumble, on Locals, on Internet Archive once I upload it there. They're all different niches. They're all different reaches. The only thing YouTube and Google care about is their platform. And in a lot of cases, we've shown how they'll just fudge your numbers because they don't want the topics you're talking about to be talked about. So they'll play with your numbers knowing you're going to get offended, get triggered, and probably go away. No, that motivates me to keep on doing it. Cool. Because I know your statistics are wrong. Your analytics are wrong. And I'm not going to say, that's the first person I've seen talk about this. Because this is the only way I can get my feed shown. Was Cernovich. That was the first person I seen it. Libs of TikTok did the same thing. Private, can't share videos. Why would I don't get why people fall victim to these dumb things. You know, don't get me wrong, I get why some people put their stuff on private. I know a few because, they get mass DMs from horny men, or the men get all these bots messaging them. So I get it for that reason. That's what privacy is actually meant for, to, prevent that for those that are constantly getting harassed. I mean, I get it. Most of the women on these platforms, they don't want to see your junk. Where, us men, well, most of us, we don't mind a little eye candy here and there, within reason, of course. Oh, it looks like Libs of TikTok just took their account off private. I left a comment on the first video that I seen that they did, and made a comment. Well, see, there's somebody else making my account private. 420K funding secured, and another one. Locking your account does raise engagement. Too bad my tweets are still awful. No, it does not. It really does not. But I knew this was going to happen when they put so everybody can look at your analytics. People get paranoid at the numbers because to them, oh man, I'm not getting reached. I know my stuff's quieted down. I'm being shadow banned on every single platform right now, just because some of the things I've said. But I've also noticed on my phone, which I got too much stuff up on my screen right now, so I can't really see what's going on. But you have the option of just on my phone, I can just hit the option following, and it just shows me all the people I'm following, their stuff. And I don't get all the extra bullshit of some stuff from their people they follow posting. You might like this, and I'm able to get more of the interaction with my followers that I'm used to. But I don't know. I don't get this new concept that people are getting into. Why they think it's so important to get the engagement. I mean, you get your engagement by people being able to share your content. If I can't share your content, then how is somebody that doesn't know you, how am I able to share that message to them? Unless I'm standing right there in front of them, here, check this out with my phone, or bring them up to my computer. You know, my pinned tweet pretty much says it all. You'll never be free until you free yourself from the prison of your own false thoughts. The hardest prison to escape is your own mind. Yeah, see, I commented on it. She took it off private. It was on private when I made the comment. Live to TikTok. Put my account on private because apparently that's the only way people will see your tweets. I mean, that's some of the rat ass backwards thinking type logic I've ever seen. That's exactly what the cancel culture wants you to do. You know, people are so quick to jump on the things that are trending. They're so quick to blindly follow the leader because it's somebody that they deem as important. They deem what they say it's got to be correct. If I do this, you know what? It might actually somewhat reflect that, but in the end, it doesn't. You're losing. So you get more engagement to the people that follow you. That's the engagement you're reaching. So they're seeing it more. Well, I can tell you how to do that. You got the new Twitter app on your phone. Click on the following. Like I said, let me open up another Twitter. Now I got too much stuff up hiding my tabs. But it makes you wonder why people even thought this was a good idea. Was it just because Cernovich said it, or one of their favorite followers said it? Is there a really necessary need to do that? No, not unless you only care about your stroking your ego based on the numbers of people that you have. For me, it's more important to have quality over quantity. The quality of your message. And that's the problem. There's so many important messages being taught out there, and they forget that they're in their own little echo chamber. Not everybody that follows me listens to Tim Pool or Cernovich or listens to the hundreds of other people that I follow and listen to when I feel drawn to listen to their content. But I get the opportunity to be able to share your content to them so they can hear that message. You guys didn't think this through. You listened to one person or a couple people, and you jumped right on the bandwagon, walking over the cliff blindly. Actually, frankly, I'll give it a few days, see if it keeps trending like this. I'm going to unfollow you because obviously the messages that you're talking about, you don't represent. We should not be progressing backwards. We should be moving forwards. We should not be caving into a cancel culture when a little gimmick comes up that they push. You know, I've talked about this. They're always infiltrating our groups, our spaces, our communities. Every movement we've watched, how they'll put their little plants in there to infiltrate the groups, and then you slowly start seeing the messages change, or you see the group get divided. I mean, look how many times the alt right got divided, all and fragmented to where the messages it wasn't the same. We've seen it with, the was it MOTG something or see movement with the men. It started out being positive male leaders talking about how young men to become alphas, to be the head of the house, the husband, the father. And they got it all twisted out of the proportion where the next thing it became a men's feminist, or I don't know, it became the men's version of a feminist movement where it's all nothing but degrading women. And that's how it originally started with the ones that started it. It was about empowering men to be men, not boys, not betas. But you know how it goes. People seeing it was trending, it was growing momentum. So let's infiltrate it and let's change the message. Let's turn it into something that it isn't. Same principle with the feminist movement. The feminine movement of today is a joke. And it became a joke during Trump's inauguration. After it, when you had the pussy hat wearing idiots marching in Washington, and a female reporter was asking some question, and a guy punched her, and all the women wearing pussy's hat protected the man from the police and were cussing out the female. That right there killed the feminist movement. That showed you how much of a joke it became. Because a true feminist? Oh no. That had been the cops trying to pull the females off the guy for punching the woman. Oh, nope, didn't happen like that. Why? Because it and pointed out in time, and the message changed. The next thing you know, the whole movement isn't what it was supposed to be to begin with. Gotta stop falling for trending stuff. You gotta stop and letting somebody else lead you down a path that's gonna actually hurt your channel, hurt your message. Because it's your message, not theirs. If they want to go do that and prove it, then go ahead and do it and prove it. But think it through before you do it. You got to stop and think. You got to use that brain. It's not an empty space up there. I mean, God gave you the intelligence and a brain, so use it. He didn't give it to you so you don't use it. He didn't give it to you so you could give other people control over it and and do the thinking for you. You know, I might not make the best of decisions from time to time, but I'd be damned. At least I learn from them and don't repeat the same mistakes. I don't keep falling victim for the same honey hole traps that they keep going on and on. I don't fall victim. Oh, you only got 70 subscribers. You only got 230. You only got 500 over there. Oh, here's the worst part of it. Most of you wouldn't know until right now where I have what my followers count is on any of my platforms that I'm on. They're all different niches. It's just how much time I spend on them. And I don't advertise. I let people stumble across it. I grow it organically, and I'm content and happy with it. And I get good quality engagement that way. Good quality interaction with people. Met a lot of people that way. Good quality people. Some not so much. But, there was things that was learned. So in the end, it was still good quality engagement and interaction. It was learning. We learned from each other. People learn from us. They learn from the messages we have. But when you do something stupid, like set your account private because I'll be able to get more engagement that way. No, you miss the most important thing: the ability for other people to share that to those that are out there that may have never heard of you or heard your message, who might need your message, that might actually keep them, prevent them from committing suicide or taking a drug or doing something stupid on TikTok. Sometimes I think we forget how important we are and how much responsibilities we have when we do content like this. The reach we actually have that we don't realize we have. Most people don't realize how big their reach really is because they don't realize how much their content's getting shared and passed around. I think it's funny. I made a comment on somebody's post yesterday. Man, I had to go mute that conversation post because I managed to actually trigger a bunch of people. Wasn't my intention. I was just commenting on what I thought. And a lot of people didn't like it. But they actually, I didn't bother because once I post something, I'm not going to get there and sit there, argue, debate a bunch of people. It showed me how ignorant people are to some of the rules and regulations. Somebody posted a picture about back Pfizer from the DOJ, how they were set aside like 200 and some, or 28, 29 point something billion for wrongful suits and stuff like that. But if anybody knows the actual legal process, how you go about suing for vaccines, it's almost impossible. And mind you, this picture was from 2009, which has nothing to do with 2023 COVID vaccines or any of that. You know, most people don't. They don't know how hard it is to actually win a case when it comes to a vaccine. It's almost impossible because there is no real judge that presides over it. It's the prosecuting attorney that sets. This is the judge and the prosecuting attorney at the same time. And you're so limited. Everything you do, you have to pay out of your own pocket. It's a rigged system that you winning a case on a vaccine is almost nearly impossible. And there's countless stories out there. I know personally people that's had this happen, that's took it this far, and they were crushed financially, emotionally, to realize that the system was set up to protect the pharmaceutical industry. Like, it's not even 1% of people that go after a pharmaceutical company for vaccines win a case. It's like 0.003% that actually win a case on a vaccine lawsuit. But no, they don't care about that. Nobody wants to go research things and fact check things for themselves. They much rather rely on hearsay, what somebody else says. Or they want to sit there and just be downright mean and evil, which I thought was funny. I was laughing the whole time. It just got ridiculous because my phone was going off. As soon as I made the comment, it was going off all day until like 1 o'clock in the morning before I finally hit mute on the conversation, just so I could get some sleep because my phone wouldn't shut up. Because I'm not going to punish, other people that might message me or comment on something that's more important. But it was entertaining. It was a lesson. But, for all the backlash I got for it, I got just as many likes and positive comments. It was one of those things. It's just like, wow, maybe I should have kept my mouth shut on that one, kept my opinion to myself. But hey, sometimes if you're drawn to do something, do it. There's backlash. Learn from it. But just don't take the backlash. Look at the positive things that come out of it. I mean, personally, there's nothing positive coming out of putting your account on private when you are a so-called somebody that gives information, somebody that does podcasts. Why would you limit yourself to a new audience, somebody that might not have never heard of you? I mean, literally, this is a case of the blind following the blind. It's in a lot of cases, it's people's greed and egos. It's the fact that people's forgotten the principle, quality over quantity. One of the best business examples, which I really didn't know about until I was working for this guy that was basically our financier for building a platform and a website. And his example and his mindset for this whole project was, we're going to lock in our price. Whoever buys in on that price, that'll be what they pay for the rest of their life. If we ever have to raise the price for any reason, it will not affect those that are grandfathered in. And he goes, I'm going to tell you, back when McDonald's started out, you know how much McDonald's made off their hamburger? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I was like, what, 50s, 60s when McDonald's came out? He was like, a penny. For every sale they made a penny. And that was their standing market philosophy through the 80s. It isn't that case no more, but it wasn't about greed. They had quality. Of course, they had a bunch of other stuff involved with it too, marketing catches, but they had it. They grew their business penny by penny, relying on their quality. I've been getting asked, why don't you do more spaces? Well, I've tried to do some spaces, but it's much like me coming over here. I don't want to sit here and ramble on and hear my own voice all the time. And spaces are new to me. I like a certain type of format. But I have been utilizing spaces. I'm starting to, when I get invited to talk on some spaces, I've started talking a little bit, but I usually go there to listen. But it's a platform and it's a tool at my disposal that has great potential. I just got to find time to sit there and use it. And, something I'm not used to, having to rely on co-host. I'm used to doing things solo. And for a while now, it's going to be solo because Bree's under the weather and is not able to come on occasionally and co-host like she usually does for me. But, I'm used to doing things by myself. So it doesn't really affect me as much as it would other people. Like this tweet. Count set to private, another one. Daily reminder that Maryland is a duty to retreat state. and you can face charges for stopping to engage. See, I didn't know that. Well, and I don't go to Maryland. I skirt around it as much as possible. But how many other people don't know that? Well, apparently not too many more people are going to know it because I can't share it. I don't live in Maryland. I live in a state where I have the right to defend myself, where we have castle laws that even covers our when we're in our vehicles, because the vehicles is also considered our castle. But for the longest, the state of Ohio, for a good 20 years, did not have self-defense laws. Huh, Cernovich, what is the worst and most useless piece of advice you've ever been given? To set my account private so I can get better engagement. Can't share that one either, so. And seriously, it is spring cleaning time. It's time to go through the social media platforms and get rid of some people. I do that at least 3 times a year. Quality over quantity. What really got me going, I stumbled across the post. This chick, I love her content. I went to go share it and go on it. It's like, she set her shit to private, following the trend of everybody else. It's like, oh my God, the message in there, I knew at least 10 people that could really use that message today. And it's weird, most days it's maybe one or two I could think of on top of my list, if that. And today it's like all kinds of people. Should have known something was up. Nothing. Nothing happens just to happen. Things happen for a reason. You know, that's no, that's why I say, that's why I don't schedule videos. I do them when I do them when I feel drawn to do something or talk about something. Because you never know what's going to come up. I like doing ramblings of the chaotic mind because it's just me rambling on topics. Well, it's actually sometimes they're not rambling. Sometimes they're to make a point. In a sense, setting your accounts private is self-censoring. You're censoring yourself from being able to be shared among other people. Yes, I get it. Sometimes that shit gets shared to people that you probably don't want to have it because they're going to be nothing but trolls and assholes. Well, that's good. You did your job. If you trigger somebody, you did your job. You made them think and question something. Whether they realized it or not, you actually did them a favor. You did them something positive. Conversations should be thought provoking. Otherwise, what's the point of having a conversation that you're not going to learn nothing from? I get it. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Cool. Glad. Go find the people that are your cup of tea. But don't be so blind to think that one day I might say something that you might really need to hear. But when you start following the blind, playing follow the leader, you stop thinking for yourself. You start putting yourself in echo chambers, and you start missing important messages that are out there from other people. I guess that's kind of why I've enjoyed spaces so much, because it's a free for all people. And, I am a chaotic individual. I like my chaos. I am not, I'm an organized chaos type person. I mean, my work area is a clutter, but I know where everything's at. Well, right now I don't know where everything's at because I just moved and, well, I'm in the process of getting ready to move again. So it's, one of those, hey, opportunity came up and I'm not going to turn it down for a job that I know I'm going to love. I'm going to be back where I love to be. That's the most important part. Where I feel at my best and most healthiest. Like I said, when one door closes, multiple doors open up. If you're just willing to be patient, just sit there and let things happen and not get stressed and try to rush things through. I mean, what will be will be. Funny, I used to be that impatient guy. I had zero patience. Now I've actually gotten to be more, I have zero tolerance for stupidity. I don't find it comical and whimsical anymore. I don't find these trending things funny. Half the time, I don't even find them important. I find them to be the other way. They're a distraction, meant to distract you. Hey, look over here while we go over here and do this, because that's what they've been used for in so many cases. Then when there is something that should be trending and starts to trend, well, hey, I point you back to the three-ring circus when Congress brought in Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google. When you had Democrats and Republicans tell them, you can't let this person be trending. You need to remove him from the trending. And within 5 minutes, he was no longer trending. That's when it was all downhill. And now we're seeing it with the Twitter files, with Project Veritas. How much overstep, how much oversteps our government did, how much they came after and tried to take our freedom of speech, our liberties, and our rights away from the citizens to control the information. And many of these people that I've seen that have put their accounts to private are the very people that have been on top of it. Now they become no better than the ones that have tried to impose censorship, because now they're strangling themselves. They're doing exactly what the FBI, the CIA, certain Republicans and Democrats, what our president wants them to do, what dictators want them to do. Limit their reach. Boy, that was a fast hour. We're reaching the hour mark, and I'm not going past an hour on this subject. There's no need. Common sense should step in on this note, but we live in a day and age where it's truly a dick measuring contest. Popularity. I got to have the most followers. I got to have the most numbers. Now I got to see that I'm getting this engagement. Just, stroke my own ego to prove that I am on top. Yep, you're on top right along with the rest of the elitist bastards who censor people, who censor their own stuff, who manipulate by following trends. Reality sucks. It does. But you know what sucks even more? When you can't see your reality. You can see how many people you actually touch and reach because that's something you can't. That's something that's not even is shown in your analytics and your numbers because it's designed to only influence the platform that you're on. Nobody sees how many views my videos and stuff gets on the minds, which is the very same video I'm doing right here from YouTube. Well, I'm doing it from Jetsy streaming to YouTube, but it's still YouTube. I'm still using YouTube. My video count here on YouTube will not reflect the views that I get on the minds. It will not reflect the views that I get on my WordPress site. It will not reflect the views for those of you watching on Twitter, on Facebook, on Rumble, on Locals, on Gab, and half, probably about 30 more other platforms when it's all said and done. Now, if they truly would reflect those numbers and match them to this video, because it's the same link, analytics are there, but they'd actually use it, I'd have 20,000, 30,000 views per video instead of 7, 2. On average, on the mines, most of my videos get anywhere between, within the first week, 400 to 2,000 views. But yet, YouTube says I only get 1 or 2 or 7. I haven't broke the 7 mark in a while, which means I'm doing something right, probably. But it also keeps the bullseye off my back. Not being a big channel. It also allows me to interact when I have people in my chat room. And at the end of the day, the videos that I do, the topics I talk about, are meant for those that stumble upon them, that come across them, that are drawn to them. Don't know why. Just happen to stumble across it. It's like, oh. And that's what we all should be doing about. Yes, we got an audience. But it's those that aren't our audience, those that'll come across it, that need to hear that message. That's who we do it for. We need to readjust our principles and our mindsets and how we think on these things. These are tools. In the end, it's your choice how you use your tools. But don't proclaim to be somebody that's giving off messages and news or whatever information that's important when you're limiting that information. When you're taking the ability of the people that follow you to share that content. Because now you're hurting the ones that need to hear it, that otherwise wouldn't hear it because they don't know who you are. 2023 is off to a good start already. To me, this, out of idiotic things you can do, ranks at the top of the dumbest trending ideas you can do. And in the end, the only person you're hurting is the person that really needs to hear your message. Stop making things about ego and numbers. Start making things about quality, not quantity. I get it. I don't have a big studio, a bunch of fancy gear. I mean, I have some of it, but I don't need it. I've invested in some things. I've got a nice camera, multi-camera setup, recording setup, lights and stuff. I just don't do it. I'd rather go outside and take pictures of things or come on here when I get things, when I get removed and resituated. Then I'll set the cameras back up, the mics back up, and the other software I use back up to where it's more efficient. And I can do videos, show my videos instead of a picture just talking. But, I rambled on long enough. Hope you guys enjoyed. Enjoy the rest of your week. I know I'm gonna be pretty much a little busy for the next few weeks. I gotta get Suburban in the garage sometime this week to get it ready for a long drive, and gotta switch out a bunch of stuff that I'm not gonna need in this move. Because I don't need a bunch of stuff. It's gonna be. It's one of the weirder things. It's like, man, you think it'd be easy to make this move because it's just moved, not really unpacked, but yet I'm not packing to sustain an apartment this just yet. That will come in the near future. Hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have my back in another apartment and living where I really want to be. Like I said, I set goals, and sometimes new goals pop up that'll put some things on the back burner. But that's life. You roll with the punches and you roll with the flow, and don't take for granted the blessings and opportunities that come your way. Take advantage of them and use them. But you guys enjoy. I I still plan on doing uh, urban myths and legends. Maybe this weekend. I want to get out. I got to do some recording. I'm going to go someplace for a certain topic for that podcast. It's this spot that's on my bucket list, but it's not going to be the actual investigation. It's going to be me, giving the story of the place, my experiences that happened there, and it's a landmark. And it's rich in history too as well. So I'm just dealing with vehicle situations right now to where I can't just haven't been able to get out there. And right now it's been too cold. I'm not going to go out there and film in -3-degree weather. Next week it's supposed to be warm, so I might do that next week. But like I said, tune in. You never know when I'm going to pop in and have something to say. With that said, I got some stuff I got to get done.